Hey, it's Caressa.
Hey, it's Maddie.
Hi, I'm Steve. You're not watching the Disney Channel right now.
You're listening to
Dreadfully Twisted. Okay, we are back. Back in.
Steve is back.
Yeah, Steve joined the intro. Did you hear him?
Yes, he was there. He said hi to everybody.
He's an official part of this podcast
He
now.
is. He's our little third member.
He just doesn't talk as much.
Yeah, he's a little shy.
That's okay.
It's okay, Steve. We still love you.
We love you and your little French fries you're holding.
Yes.
I'm just in a silly, goofy mood today. I don't know what it is.
Silly, goofy. So, how was your week?
Oh, it was good.
Good.
I already told you the update of my week, and I can't say it because, but yeah, update.
For the most part.
And this week's been pretty good. How's your week been?
Good.
Yeah.
Same.
It's kind of like long.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, it really.
I forgot today was Friday. Like this morning, I don't know what I was thinking. But like, I totally forgot today was Friday, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, it's Friday," and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's Friday." I thought it was like Thursday or something. I don't know. I was like all messed up. I don't know. I don't think we have any updates for anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just
Nothing
been
we need to share with you guys.
pretty quiet. My house hasn't had any paranormal activity, so I'm sad.
Have to talk.
I'm gonna go home and be like, "Hey, show me some paranormal stuff right now."
It's all fun and games till something gets slapped off the table.
Or I get touched or something. At that point, I'm like, "Okay, I'm moving out." I'll just come here in the middle of the night, knock on the door because I'm scared.
Be like, "Hi, can I sleep over?" Be like, "Yeah, come on in."
I'll be like, "My house scared me." Okay.
Jeremy be like, "Can I sleep on the floor? Because I ain't staying here either."
He'll be in a deep sleep. I'll just leave.
He won't even know a thing.
I'm just kidding. Because if he wakes up in the middle of the night without me there, he'll be like,
Yeah.
he'll like panic, and I don't want him to do that. I'm trying to move this here. Okay.
Move whatever you need.
So, I decided to do a completely different case than what I was gonna do.
Really?
Yeah. I was gonna do the Dial 12 Pass, but then, I've been really into watching Dexter.
Yeah.
And I was really curious to see if it was inspired by anything real. And I think I said that in the last episode that I was really into watching Dexter. So yeah, I looked into what the inspiration for Dexter is, and it was a real life serial killer.
Oh. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah. So this is where they got the idea from, and it turns out the base idea was a Brazilian serial killer.
I've never even thought to look that up, which is crazy.
Yeah. I just looked it up, and then I was just like, okay, but I also saw spoilers for the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's what I get. So I wanted to cover this case this week, but also this serial killer is one of the lesser known ones. I didn't know who he was until I started looking into it. So we'll get into it. And I'm going to apologize now. A lot of this, like some words are like in, like, I don't know, Brazilian. Like, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm sorry. But let's get started. So Pedro Rodrigues... Oh my God.
Talking is hard, everyone.
Pedro Rodrigues Filho was born October 29th, 1954 in Brazil. I had different resources say it was June 17th, but other resources said it was October 29th. I just went with October 29th because I wasn't sure. I'm just saying that right now. But he was born on a farm in Santa Rita do Supassai. I am so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. South of Minas Gerais. Filho translates to junior, so I'm just gonna probably refer to him as Pedro Jr. if that's okay, because Filho is so hard to say. Yeah. His family didn't have a lot of money when they were growing up, and it was tough financially for them. Pedro suffered from a brain injury while he was still in his mother's stomach.
Wow.
By his father, because his father decided to kick his mom in the belly while they were in a fight.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you?
I hate him.
Yeah, you'll hate his father later too.
Oh, great.
But yeah,
wonderful.
Right now we hate him as well.
Yeah.
which this injury made Pedro Jr. have bruising on his skull, which did impact Pedro for his life. When he was born, it was so noticeable of the damage done to his skull. His grandmother, who was also his mother's midwife during labor, saw the damage. So it was like very noticeable. Which okay, I was turning the page, so I'm sorry. Which brain injuries are a key piece to how serial killers are created, especially if something happens to their frontal lobe. So this injury to Pedro could be a factor since he was still like a baby. He wasn't even fully like born yet. So I don't know if that was the reason or if maybe he's just messed up.
Yeah.
But could be. But anyway, Pedro was the oldest and he had 7 younger siblings. Unfortunately, he never went to school and had to work from a young age to help his family. As you can guess from the incident between his mother and father, that his father was abusive, and Pedro described his dad as a Jekyll and Hyde character. Yeah. His dad was abusive and aggressive, but really only whenever he was drunk or under the influence. Then when he wasn't, he was kind and loving, which I can't even imagine how confusing that was.
Yeah.
Or that would be. But really, oh wait, I read that already. And then his mother was very strict and a disciplinarian. She ruled the home with an iron fist. If anyone stepped out of line in any way, she would beat them. So that's great.
Yeah.
His family was also very religious. When Pedro was around the age of 13, this is when he claimed he had the urge to kill for the first time.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Great.
And it gets crazier. He got into a fight with an older cousin. He pushed him into a sugarcane mill, or a sugarcane press, which almost killed him, and he considered leaving him there to die. However, Pedro's grandfather was there, and then he decided to save him. The sugarcane mill was where he worked, and it was owned by his grandfather. Him and his cousin got into a fight because Pedro borrowed his horse without asking. And then his cousin started to call him names and call him weak. So then Pedro decided to punch him and then push him into the sugarcane press.
Oh my god.
And then his grandfather turned it off. And then Pedro spent 2 days in jail for this, but wasn't charged because Pedro's family needed him to work for them. However, that was not the only reason he didn't press charges. Pedro's grandfather was more of a dad to him than his own father, which is traumatic.
Yeah.
Pedro felt that he was his favorite grandchild. His grandfather made Pedro feel competent, worthy of respect, and taught him a lot of his skills. He did so by showing him how to swim, how to hunt, how to harvest, and how to handle a knife. He also taught him how to kill animals.
Oh no.
Yeah. Pedro even knew from a young age how to kill a fox and cut it from bone to bone and dismember them. That's a great skill to teach your grandson.
Oh yeah.
At a young age.
Totally. What is wrong with you?
So when Pedro's mom was pregnant and his dad kicked her belly, the injury on Pedro's head actually left a scar on his forehead. And it caused Pedro to feel uneasy because his grandfather actually told him how it happened because Pedro didn't know until his grandfather told him. Pedro knew about how abusive his father was, but he didn't know about this. When he found out, he was disgusted, which I completely understand that because I would be as well. And
Yeah.
he felt like his father attacking his pregnant mother was unforgivable and wrong. Not only did he attack his mother, who was pregnant, but he also attacked Pedro himself, technically. There was another incident, and this is crazy. There was another incident that his grandfather told Pedro. Pedro's father was chasing her while she was holding Pedro. At this time, he was an infant. Pedro's father was trying to attack them both at this time, and his mother was trying to protect Pedro. And as she was running away from his dad, she actually tripped and accidentally dropped Pedro into a nest of snakes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were poisonous, but luckily Pedro didn't get hurt.
Jeez.
Yeah. Imagine being thrown into a thing of snakes.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have a fear of snakes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I do right now, but like...
Be traumatized for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I kind of understand why he turned into a crazy person.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
Oh no.
So Pedro's dad worked as a security guard at a local high school. His shift was night shift. One night, he was accused of stealing food from the kitchen and some stationery. Pedro Sr. decided the claims. He denied the claims and said it was the daytime guard, but the deputy mayor fired him right away, like right then and there. However, many people have said that Pedro Sr. would never steal and it was against his beliefs. And he was very trustworthy even though he was abusive. Yeah, he would never steal, but he abuses his family.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah. He would never do such things. Such horrible things.
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Don't understand.
Logic. Not understand.
So much logic there. So that also prevented his father from getting another job because I guess he got fired, so he was having trouble finding another job. Pedro was 14 at this time, and he watched his father be accused of stealing and got fired from it, which also caused stress and tension on the family because his father was the main moneymaker in the house. So Pedro then feels like he needs to get back at the deputy mayor. He felt like vengeance was the way to go. So guess what Pedro did? Pedro stole his grandfather's shotgun and then went to the city hall and shot the deputy mayor right in front of the building.
Oh.
Yeah. He was 14.
Jeez.
Then he found the security guard that his father said did it and shot him too. Again, he was 14. What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Pedro went on the run and went to Sao Paulo on the outskirts of the city. When he was hiding there, he met a lady named Maria Aparecida Olympia. I am so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Her nickname was Batina, which means booty. Just imagine having a nickname booty.
Oh my god, that was funny.
She was older than Pedro by a lot of years. I couldn't find her birthday. I literally looked everywhere I possibly could, but I can only guess she was probably late 20s, early 30s. Again, Pedro was 14 at this time, so he's half her age, probably. Gross.
Maybe because I didn't expect you to say booty. I was waiting for beauty or beautiful, and you're like booty. I was like, then I just died.
Hello, booty.
Hi, booty.
But regardless of their age difference, they started living together, and Pedro described her as the love of his life. Red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Pedro is 14. Just reminding you because that's just ew.
Yeah. Literally disturbing, traumatizing, all of the above.
At this point, this kid has nothing but just traumatizing things happen to him. And Maria was a well-known drug trafficker.
Oh, perfect. Make things even better.
And because of her looks, she was able to lure teenage boys to work for her, and how she would do this is by sleeping with them.
God.
She's disgusting.
Traumatized.
Yeah. So for Maria, Pedro then started working for a local street gang, which included moving drugs and robbed other criminals, and also eliminate other rivals. So he'd kill them. Just stop while you're ahead, Pedro.
Yeah.
Just stop.
I'm sorry, but I can't imagine a 14-year-old in the streets, just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And at this point, he becomes her hitman.
Oh!
So he's a hitman at 14 years old.
Wow.
Make it make sense.
I think that has to be the world's youngest hitman.
Probably, honestly. He then kills 3 ex-gang members. In the press, they considered him as a celebrity because he killed criminals as far as they were concerned. So they thought he was a celebrity.
Oh my god, I can just imagine his face on a billboard.
Oh my god. I don't think that would that did happen, but
that's crazy.
And in the media, he was referred to as the vigilante Pedrino Matador, which does come back later. Now that I'm going over this.
Oh.
Maria favored him, and she considered him her protege. Yeah. So he quickly rose up ranks. This made the other boys who had been working for Maria for a while jealous. Some of those boys asked Pedro if he wanted to go smoke weed with them, and Pedro felt like it wasn't right. It felt off. He had a feeling like it was a setup. They all were armed, but Pedro was as well. But he still felt like they were going to gang up on him, or they were luring to kill him or something. So he was very paranoid. So he asked them all to drop their guns and took his out and threatened them. They all did what he asks, but Pedro shoots them all anyway.
Oh my god.
killing 2 of the boys and hospitalizes the 3rd.
Well,
they did what you asked. Why did you shoot them? Make it make sense. But Pedro, oh yeah, I already read that. So this could show so many things from like the first go through whenever I was like researching this. Maybe the instability he had, poor impulse control, paranoia. I mean, it could show as well his mental health was degrading at this point, and or it was not in a good state at this time. But it also just shows that he's just a psychopath, I think.
Yeah.
When Pedro is 16 or 17, Maria becomes pregnant with his kid, and they become engaged.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Literally not even 18 yet. That's disturbing.
Yeah, and she's like almost 30.
Yeah.
So at this point, their lives were going well, according to him. He was with the love of his life. They were going to have a baby, were engaged, and they were making a good living. But that was only due to the work he was doing, which was the same as before. So robbing and killing. Yeah. So far, like, as I'm going through this, I'm like, this does not remind me of Dexter.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did this get like, based off of this? I don't know. So they were kind of in danger because of that. Pedro robbed a man named China. China was a rival gang leader. Pedro stole his weapons, money, and drugs, which leads the rival gang to retaliate by killing Maria. Yeah. Which is sad. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have lived this life.
Yeah.
They wanted to teach Pedro a lesson, and they wrote on the wall in her blood that, and I quote, "We will get you." Which is, I can't even imagine, like, that is devastating to lose somebody you're in love with. And you can just guess that he wants revenge at this point.
Yeah.
At this time, he didn't know China was the one who done this or had the hit on her, but he did know he was in danger. And so he decides to go live with his aunt and uncle at this time in another town. And I'm going to insert this now. Trigger warning, animal cruelty. You might want to skip like 30 seconds. If you don't want to listen to this. So there he met paranormal, which is an AFR Brazilian religion. His aunt and uncle told him that paranormal was a religion that would cleanse his spirit and offer protection. This religion requires a lot of rituals, which one was removing organs from animals, specifically removing organs from chickens, goats, and white doves. After removing the organs, they would then be placed around the divine statue and drink the blood. Then they would see if the sacrifice was accepted by the spirits.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I could just tell you that this is not for me.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I do not recommend.
10 out of 10, do not recommend at all.
I mean, but if this is your religion, I'm not bashing you. It's just, it's not for me.
Yeah, no.
Not for me. And they would see if it was accepted by the spirits by runes, tarot cards, or dowsing. Bird sacrifices are used with the cleansing ritual. The bird is wiped over the person needing cleansed. Then this gets really horrifying, so I'm so sorry you have to listen to this. They would break its legs and wings and then neck. And then Pedro put on the necklace of hardened seeds after the ritual. He claimed the ritual was so transformative for him. He said he was possessed and it made him invincible.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
literally, what is wrong with you?
Which is absolutely terrifying and scary because at this point, he's already dangerous.
Yeah.
Imagine what he's going to do once he thinks he's invincible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Except I do, but I don't.
Because of this newfound feeling, he starts robbing food trucks because he thinks if he does that, he could give food to the poor.
Oh.
Yeah, now it just becomes demented and twisted in such a weird way. Because then he burned down businesses that laundered drug money, and he would also kill anyone who hurt women. So now is whenever I'm like, okay, this kind of reminds me of Dexter just a little bit, but still.
Vigilante thing.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other stuff, not so much.
Yeah.
Loosely based.
That's what I would say. Loosely based. Yeah. Which shows he is starting to have a moral code about killing, which also Dexter does too. He began to have this idea that if he did crimes that benefited others, that he was right to do so, and that it was okay. It's never okay.
Yeah. Okay, Dexter.
Right? It's funny, I was actually watching Dexter before, like, I came over.
Yeah.
And then I was just, like, thinking about this case, and I'm just like, I still don't see it.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of see it with, like, the moral code and stuff, but, like, I don't know.
But everything else, No.
If any of you listeners have watched Dexter, let me know. I would love to talk about it. I'm so into that show right now. I'm on season 4. Anyway, where was I? He also was trying to track down Maria's killer. This happened over a whole year. He'd confront, torture, kill anyone who might have an answer. So at this point, like, he's just killing people that he thinks might have an answer. So he's not killing people if they're actually committed crimes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not confirmed. I don't know why I'm doing quotes. You can't see me, but I was like quoting like with my fingers, and my fingers cracking. That's weird. Okay. One night, while Pedro was in a bar drinking, China's ex-girlfriend was there, and she told Pedro that it was China who did order the hit on Maria. So then he starts looking for China. He eventually finds out China is going to a family wedding. Then, like, the next weekend after he talked to his his ex-girlfriend. So he went with 2 of his friends, and Pedro crashes the wedding, and they killed 7 people and injured 16 more.
Wow.
So then, a few more months later, Pedro is still feeling invincible and still feels that moral code. He found out his favorite cousin. Okay, this is crazy. This is so crazy. He found out that his favorite cousin is pregnant and that the dad of the baby refuses to marry her. So Pedro decides that he has a solution. Can you guess what that solution is?
Oh no.
It was to kill him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because, that's such a solution. Definitely. He didn't want to marry her, but, she wants him around to be there for like their baby. But, you're going to kill him, so he's not going to be there. Why?
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Sorry, I need to get a drink of water. Look at her. She's just seeping. So, on May 24th, 1973, at 19 years old, Pedro is finally arrested. And to get him into custody, they got into a gunfight, which wounds him, and they were able to take him in. At the trial, okay, this is even crazier. At the trial, he was accused of 18 murders. But this angered Pedro. And he said he didn't kill 18 people. He said, I've killed at least 100.
Oh. Pedro! What is wrong with you? Oh my god, I was just shooketh. That shivered me timbers. Okay.
I wrote, whoa, okay, in my notes, because I'm just like, why would you just be like, normal, like, killers are like, I didn't kill 18 people, I didn't do that. Pedro's like, I didn't do that, I killed at least 100.
What?
Like, he's proud of it or something.
Oh my god. Crazy.
I just loved your reaction from that. I was waiting.
Pedro! Oh my god, that had me shook for a second. That's crazy.
No, it gets worse.
He's like, why would I kill only that many?
Yeah, he's like, I killed more!
Yeah.
So, he got convicted of 14 of them. He got sentenced to 126 years in prison. Police records show that after the trial, he got transported to another prison by a transport van. When he was transported, he was with another prisoner, and while on that van, they got to talking, and Pedro killed the other inmate on the transport van.
Oh my god.
And what's even worse is police didn't even notice he was killing him.
Wow. Good police work.
As always.
Yeah. I feel like we say that way more often than we should. Like, that's just sad. Like, good police work.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I really wrote, how? Then when they opened the doors and see that the other inmate was dead, Pedro said, well, I did it because he was a rapist.
Oh.
They got to talking, and the guy mentioned he was one, and then Pedro decided to kill him. However, while he was in prison and with his moral code and wanting to kill bad people, he wants to kill more while in prison, obviously, because he's surrounded by bad people now. Quote unquote, bad people.
Yeah. Because
anything that makes them a bad person, he wants to kill them, even if they weren't a bad person.
Yeah.
Now, this next one is the most notorious one of his, which I still never heard of until I started researching this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the most well-known murder of his, and he decides he wants to get revenge on his own father.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is ironic because the first crime he committed was for his father.
Yeah.
And then now he's like, oh no, now I want to kill my father. But can you guess why he wanted to kill his father?
Why?
Because he found out his dad killed and dismembered his mother, which made his dad be in the same prison as Pedro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him? I was not expecting that.
Yeah. So Pedro fakes being sick, and when a guard comes in to check on him, Pedro puts a knife to his throat and forces him to give up his gun and keys. Then he gets to his father's cell without saying anything. He stabbed his father 22 times, which was actually one more time than his father stabbed his mother. He decides that isn't enough, and this gets really gross, and it's really graphic, so I'm sorry if you want to skip like 15 seconds. He then cuts out his dad's heart, takes a piece of it, chews it up, and spits it out on his father's body.
Ew. Oh my god.
Which is ew.
Yeah.
I wrote that in my notes. I was like, gross. Pedro then gets back to his cell and releases the guard. He gives back his keys and his gun without harming him. So I guess that's his act of like kindness. I don't know. Like, okay. In 1996, he gave an interview and he said he got a thrill from killing criminals. And his favorite way to kill was by stabbing and hacking with blades. Wow. Wow. Oh, hold on, He also said he had no regrets for it and that he had a lot of tattoos. Some of the daggers and a phrase, "I kill for pleasure," was tattooed on him.
Oh my god.
Also in the same interview, he said he would never kill anyone innocent. He killed rapists, pedophiles, drug traffickers, assassins, and traitors. I don't know how being a traitor really makes you a bad person, but okay. Yeah. Then even, what does that say? Oh, and even use the term bad people, or added the term bad people to the list. So like anybody that falls underneath that, I guess, is gonna get killed. So I guess if you, I don't know, it gets worse.
Oh no.
He stated his motivation was anger and not bloodlust. However, that mindset Pedro had wasn't good for him because the other prisoners felt like scared, but also made them want to take Pedro down because they felt threatened, which made prison life dangerous for him. Pedro got ambushed by other inmates. He had no idea that this was happening, and they attacked him, but somehow he left the attack pretty much unharmed.
Wow.
He actually killed 3 of them and injured 2 more of them. They ambushed him. He left unharmed.
Wow.
And he ended up killing 3 of them. Like, what is this guy? Like,
I know.
How? Which is added to his reputation. They were going to kill him, but it turned out he killed them instead. Which I don't get or understand. And Pedro would randomly choose other inmates too. One guy who... Okay, this is even crazier. He said he kills bad people, right?
Yeah.
So one guy, he didn't exactly fit the type of people he'd kill because he was a career criminal. Pedro killed him anyway because he snored too much.
Wow.
I don't think he killed for
no.
I think he just killed just to kill.
Yeah, especially his tattoo. A little telling.
What is wrong with you, Pedro?
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Someone started a rumor about one of Pedro's friends in prison. The rumor was started by a transgender person who was kept in a protected wing of the prison because to keep them like safe because they were different than the rest of the inmates. Pedro finds this out and figures out how to get access to this part of the prison. So he kills the person who started the rumor, and then he goes on to kill 16 more people in the protected wing.
Wow.
How is he even doing this in prison?
Yeah, literally.
Like, seriously, like, where are the guards?
I know, what's going on?
Like, you think that if it's a protected wing, that the guards be surrounded?
Yeah.
I guess not.
What?
Whatever. Good police work.
Good police work.
Pedro stated that after killing those 17 people, it left him deaf for 3 days, and this is horrifying, because of their screams. Yeah. After this, the prison finally decided that Pedro had gone too far. Because, you know, he didn't go too far before then.
You think?
At this point, he's murdered 47 people while in prison.
Oh my god.
47!
I'm just shook because how do they allow that to happen?
I think probably because they're like, oh, he'll take care of our problems. Maybe. You know, because like they were like, at least he can do. Like, yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know.
What is wrong with them?
What is wrong with all these people?
I know.
But they decided to send him for a psychiatric evaluation, and in the evaluation, it was deemed that he was a psychopath who was incapable of feeling remorse. The psychiatrist described him as the perfect psychopath.
Oh god.
What? Is that even a thing? Like,
perfect psychopath.
And that was because he never killed innocent people. I literally wrote in my notes. I don't know. I think maybe he did.
Yeah.
The guy that snored too much.
Yeah. Exactly.
What is wrong with you, Pedro?
And towards the beginning, too. Like, it wasn't like...
Yeah, like, it wasn't confirmed that the security guard stole the money, not the money, stole the food, but, like, at the same time, what if he was poor and he was hungry?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that wrong.
No.
But whatever.
Like, you would, like, I mean, okay, pedophiles and rapists, like, couldn't be killing anybody, but if you were to kill someone, those were people that, like...
Right,
yeah.
But, like, at the same time, like, it's still wrong, and they're in prison.
Yeah, exactly.
So why are you killing them when they're doing their time?
Someone who's, like, stealing food or something, like, that's not, like...
Somebody that
doesn't make them a bad person. That they made a bad decision.
It's just their nose is clogged up. Like, I snore.
Yeah, literally. You can't help that he snores, like...
Like, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
So, Pedro was slated for release in 2003.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
He had 126 years on his sentence.
In my head.
There's a law in Brazil that a prisoner couldn't be held for more than 30 years. Although later in 2019, it was revised to 40 years. But at the time, it was only 30 years. So then why was he even sentenced to 129 years?
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
To begin with, if you knew, like, oh, this law's in place, you can't hold him for more than 30 years.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, however, the judiciary decided to increase his sentence to 400 years because he killed 47 people in prison.
Yeah.
But April 24th, 2007, 34 years after being put in prison, Pedro got released from prison, even though his sentence was increased.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay, this guy he claims he killed over 100 people on trial. He got confirmed for 14, and then in prison he killed 47 more. Let's release him.
Yeah.
He's fine with the public.
What is wrong with you?
What? After he was released, he moved to Fort Eliza, which is northeast Brazil. It was a popular tourist destination. He got a job as a night watchman. September 15, 2011, he was arrested at his house he was working at as a caretaker. He was arrested for threatening people, having possession of weapons, and on charges of participating in illegal riots and deprivation of liberty. He was put in prison for another 7 years and was released on December 10th, 2018 on good behavior. Okay, he went to prison once. Again, he killed 47 people in prison. And at least 100 others.
Yeah.
Got arrested again because he was acting out, but then he gets released 7 years after for good behavior. Do you think there's like a pattern here?
Yeah. Like, oh, you've been a good noodle, you can leave. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. No, this isn't SpongeBob.
No, it's not. And you're not a good noodle.
You don't deserve a gold star.
No.
So he was sentenced for 71 murders.
Wow.
But Pedro claimed he killed over 100, which all were rapists, drug dealers, murderers, bad people, essentially. He isn't a well-known serial killer, which is surprising because he is the number 6 in the world to have the most confirmed murders. But they released him.
Yeah.
They released him.
Good police work.
I have no words right now.
I know.
It gets even crazier.
Oh, God.
After his release from prison in 2018, he stated he wasn't going to... After his release from prison in 2018, he stated he wasn't going to be a vigilante anymore and that he was going to retire from killing people.
Oh, what a good Samaritan!
So, since he was retiring, he then decided to create a YouTube channel called Pedro X Matador.
Oh, God.
Which was the celebrity name he got before.
Yeah.
And guess what his YouTube channel was? It was a crime YouTube channel.
Oh my God. The irony.
Where he would comment and talk about modern crimes and talk against and campaigned against gang violence. He taught the public not to be proud of criminal acts His audience was over 250,000 people, like subscribers, which means that he actually earned money from his YouTube channel. He had over 36 million views on his channel.
Jeez.
He also had a TikTok, which he had 34,800 followers. He used his social medias to speak out against crime. He was asked if he would ever kill again. This is the crazy part. He said no, and that he would only kill someone if they came to take his life or the lives of people he loves, like his family.
What?
He's like, oh no, I'll never kill again. Unless they harm me or anybody that I love. They harm, like, the person down the street. I'll kill them. What?
I won't kill anybody. I don't think. What is wrong with him?
He also said, I assumed my mistakes, I paid my penalty, so I don't need to be judged or defended by anyone anymore.
Good for you, bud. Good for you.
Yeah, and then Lana Kasoy, a criminologist, met Pedro and stated he was a charismatic man who was joyful, casual, and intelligent, and that he fascinated people, that he fascinated people because she said, which is a reflection of our Brazilian society in a country where only 10% of homicides are brought to justice. So she was, like, defending him, it seems like.
Yeah, literally, she was.
Like, oh, it's okay, because only 10% of the, like, homicides get brought to justice, so it's okay he killed all these people. You're a criminologist. Why are you saying this?
Great criminologist.
At 10 a.m. on March 5th, 2023, Pedro was shot and killed by two men in a shooting from a car in Maddie Dazacru. The two men drove away in a black car, which was found later with ammo nearby. A witness said Pedro was sitting on a chair and that the black car stopped and the two men got out and told them, "This has nothing to do with you, go inside." And she went inside with her daughter, and then the two men shot Pedro. Then one of the men cut Pedro's throat with a kitchen knife, and they got in the car and left. A passerby called police. The case has been classified and said to be aggravated murder, but by the civil police, and no arrests have been made. Pop culture references. Obviously, Pedro is the inspiration behind the character Dexter Morgan in the books and TV show Dexter, which I didn't know that there was a book, like books for it.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
But I guess it was books first,
yeah.
And then it was turned into a TV series. And because of the TV series, it gave him the nickname the Brazilian Dexter. Just ruin the show for me. Why would you?
Yeah.
Obviously, there are differences, and even though the show is still considered a work of fiction, an original narrative, but the idea behind Dexter is a true story because it was inspired by Pedro Rodrigues Filho. And this is going to be another plot twist for you. There is a case that was inspired by the TV show Dexter, and I will cover that on the next episode that I do. Happened in 2013, and this person did it because of the show. So I'm, like, on a Dexter roll right now, so just hang in there with me, because as my next case that I'm going to do, it's solidified. I'm already starting it after, like, I'll go after you next week, but I'm going to start it now because there's a lot to it.
Word a week. I'm ready to hear it.
But yeah, so this was an accident finding this because I've been really into the show, and I decided to look up because after your case last week and you said all the plastic, I was like, I really wonder if there was an inspiration, because how could they just come up with a serial killer that kills murderers and has a moral code? I mean, if people don't know what Dexter is, that's pretty much what it is. He's a forensic analyst, blood splatter specialist that kills people that have committed murder, and he has, like, a whole moral code. He only kills murderers, but he's a serial killer, and he has no emotion. So there's differences, but, like, I don't know. I'm just baffled right now.
I know, it's crazy.
So, what are your thoughts?
That was a wild ride.
It's crazy that at the end he just wasn't in prison.
Yeah, I know. That was insane.
And then at first he was a celebrity.
Yeah.
They're like, you're killing people! Woo!
And the fact that he was talking about other crimes. Wonder if he covered his own.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I mean, he's
maybe
trying to do it in the afterlife. I don't know.
Who knows?
But yeah, so that was I got like really into that because I was just like, what is going on here? Let me see if I can pull up a picture of Pedro.
Yeah.
Because he, like, I don't know, like, he doesn't really, like, he kind of looks like a psychopath. I mean, you kind of can just tell sometimes. But we'll see. Here. Pedro. First one that pops up. So this is him more recently. And this is him when he was younger.
He has, like, dead eyes.
Yeah. He does have dead eyes.
Dead
all
eyes.
his tattoos.
Dead eyes freak me out.
Yeah, they do. Oh my god, this says... Okay. Pedro Rodrigues Filho, serial killer superstar, is what somebody said. Oh. I think you're wrong there. I don't think he's a superstar, but okay.
It's giving poster wristbands
Ooh.
and t-shirts. It's giving my 2010 One Direction phase.
Yeah, if you think he's a superstar, I think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, don't idolize any murders, please.
Yeah. But I just realized this is our first serial killer, I think, that we covered.
Really?
I think. Like, serial killer.
Yeah, like that's definitely probably the most have been killed.
Wow.
Amelia killed, I think, bought babies, but that was...
Like, this is our first male one?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Those were definitely the ones that killed the most people.
Yeah. Like, he's number 6 in the world.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Why do you want to be known for that?
I know.
Okay. So if you guys want to tell us if you watch the show Dexter,
yeah,
please do. And tell us your thoughts on this episode and on Pedro, please. You can email us at dreadfullytwistedpodcast@gmail.com with your stories, true crime or paranormal, or any cases that you might want us to cover, whether it's true crime or paranormal in that aspect too. You can also follow us and comment and DM us on our social medias at Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Dreadfully Twisted Podcast. You can listen on Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeartRadio. I forgot, you can listen on Samsung Podcasts. I have not been saying that because I forgot for like a hot minute, but you can listen on there. You can listen on Podcast Index, YouTube, Listen Notes. I think I said all the ones. Amazon Music. Please share with your family and friends. And let us know what you think on our Spotify about the episode, because there's a little like question there. You can tell us what you thought about the episode.
Send us in some cases to cover.
Yeah, and rate us on our Spotify. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. Please. Thank you.
Steve says thank you.
Yeah, Steve says thank you. And you can like do the same on like Pandora, iHeartRadio, all those other things. You can like it. Save it, download it. That really helps us out. It helps us get out there and keep the podcast relevant. And I guess this is a good time to announce that we will start uploading on Apple Podcasts.
Yay!
This episode, I'm going to upload this one right now, should be on Apple Podcasts, and I'm going to try to get all the previous ones on there, like whenever this episode airs. So yeah, look out for that. That's an update. And yeah. I don't think I forgot anything, did I?
I don't think so.
Okay. Be a decent person.
Yeah. Check on your friends.
Don't be like Pedro.
Don't be like any of these people that we cover.
Just be a good person. Yeah. It takes nothing. Doesn't take any money.
And please don't idolize murderers.
Yeah, don't do that.
No,
don't do that.
Red flag.
Red flag. And check on your friends. Yes. Stay positive and
be a good person.
And spread positivity.
Share us with your family.
Yes, please do.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.